In this video, we are going to be going over the Math 8 Practice EOG explanations for problems 41 through 45. The first question for 41 says rectangular WXYZ will be dilated by a scale factor of 1/2. So they're telling me that my scale factor is 1/2, okay, creating WXYZ prime. What will be the perimeter of the new rectangle? Well, first I'm going to find the perimeter of the old rectangle. So this side length is 4, this side length is 2, so perimeter is the distance around the outside, okay? So the old perimeter is 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2. 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 2 more is 12, okay? Well, if I'm going to dilate this picture, by a scale factor of 1/2, that means that it's going to be smaller, which means I'm going to have a reduction. Okay, so this is what it is now, so C is definitely out. And it's going to get smaller, so that means it can't get bigger. That's out. Now I need to decide, is it going to go down to 4 or is it going to go down to 6? If you want to take each one of these coordinate points and multiply it by 1/2, you can, but the easiest thing to do is to take the total perimeter, times it by 1/2, which is 0.5, or divide it by 2, and that gives me my new perimeter, which is 6 units. For 42, lines L and M are parallel to one another and cut by the transversal T. What is the value of X? Okay, the first thing I need to remember is that supplementary angles add up to 180. So a straight line across would need to add up to 180. Okay, so I know that this is a straight line. It needs to add up to 180. Well, what's 60 plus 40? 100. What do you need to get to 180? 80. So now 60 plus 80 plus 140 gives me 180. Okay, the other thing to notice here is that this angle, right here, the 60-degree angle, is corresponding to this angle, which means that that angle is 60. Well, here you go. Now I have a straight line again that has to equal 180. So 180 take away 60 is 120. Okay? That means that X is 120. There's other ways that you could do this. You could realize that 80 and 40 together corresponding with X, which is also 120, but either way, as long as you get 120. Okay, for this question, it says Molly wants to put a fence around the area. Molly wants to put a fence around an area. This is our area, and she wants to put a fence around it. The fence will follow the diagram of the triangle shown below. About how much fencing does Molly need? The problem that makes this confusing is they're talking about fencing, but then they use the word area. So a lot of kids think, oh, I'm just defining the area of the triangle. But that's not true. It's that she wants to put a fence, what? Around. So when you see fence around, that's telling you what? Perimeter. Okay? I want to know the distance around this entire shape. Well, I have 2 measurements, but I'm missing this measurement. Luckily, they're telling me it's a right triangle, so that means I could use Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is my c because it's across from the box. So 18 squared, I can put it in for a or b. That's going to give me 100 plus b squared equals 344 plus 18 squared. We'll subtract 100 from both sides. And that gives me b squared equals 224. So I need to take the square root of both sides to get b by itself. And that gives me 14.96, which is roughly approximately 15. So this side length is about 15. They told me what? I can use about. Okay, well now I need to find the add up the perimeter. 10 plus 8b plus 50, and you get 43. Alright, for 44, since the points -3, 1, -1, -3, 5 are adjacent vertices of a triangle. Okay? Adjacent vertices of a rectangle, excuse me. Okay? That means they're next to each other. 2 of the sides of the rectangle have a length of 8. So 2 sides have a length of 8. What is the length of the diagonal of the rectangle? Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is plot the points that I have, which is -3, -1 is 1 point, and -3, +5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, if it's a rectangle, I know those are two sides. This has a side length of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, if this has a side length of 6, and the other two sides have a side length of 8, then I know I can go 8 spots away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, for it to be a rectangle, I can figure out where that other missing point is, because it has to be 4 right angles in the same side. So this side's 6, this side's 8, this side's 8. Now they're asking me for the what? Length of the diagonal. So you could have drawn it this way or obviously the opposite way. But what you should notice is that you have a what? A right triangle. Okay? I don't know C, because that's across from the box. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That's going to give me 8 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. 64 plus 36 equals c squared. Okay, and from there, you get 100 equals c squared. Take the square root, c equals 10. Okay? The quicker way to do this is realizing that 6, 8, and 10 is one of the Pythagorean triples. So when I did this the first time, I didn't need to work it out because I remember that it's a Pythagorean triple. Okay? It's multiples of 3, 4, and 5. If I take each one of these and times them by 2, I get a Pythagorean triple. But again, if you did notice it, that's fine. You can still work it out and get the correct answer. Okay, what is the approximate volume of the cone below? The hardest part about doing this problem is memorizing the formula because they're not going to give it to you. So it's always the area of the base, which is the area of a circle, so pi r squared times the height. Okay, that's for a cylinder. How many cones are in a cylinder? 1, 2, 3. So to find the volume of a cone, it's the volume per cylinder divided by 3. So that's why I get pi r squared times height divided by 3. Now I just need to plug in what I know. This is my height. Now 10 is my diameter. My radius is half of that, so I need to use 5. Now all I need to do is plug this into the formula. So pi times 5 squared times 7 divided by 3. If you wanted to simplify it one more time, you could say pi times 25 times 7 divided by 3. But at this point, I would have put it in my calculator, and you get B. That is the last problem for this video.